Yo, what are you saying? Welcome back to ISOJ. We have a sit-down conversation here because we really need to talk about last night's games because goddamn, what a performance from some of these guys last night, man. The Celtics beat the Magic, which, I mean, to be honest, we kind of all expected, right? Like, yeah, they got one game, but I think that's the most that's going to happen. I don't think anything more than that one game is going to be a factor here. The Bucks lost to the Pacers. Dame went out with an injury, and I want to get into this real quick for a second because I think that this is a little bit heartbreaking. You know, a lot of NBA fans, we're looking at, especially NBA fans my age, right? Mid-20s, late 20s. All of the stars from our era are kind of gone. You know, we don't really have many players left that we looked at and be like, oh, wow, they're generational. LeBron is 40. KD didn't make the playoffs. Chris Paul is 40. Russ is, you know, we're far long removed from MVP Russ. I feel like we're watching the changing of the guard here. But Dame being injured is real sad, man. For someone to have fought back from the blood clots and now just go into what might be a torn Achilles. And like a lot of people are saying, oh, it might not be. But when from what I've seen, that definitely looks like a torn Achilles. By the way that it was completely no contact, where he grabbed, yeah, that did not look good at all. So, I don't know, is that it? Is that it for Dame? Maybe. He might come back to the NBA. Well, he'll probably miss next year. He's 34, 35 now. He's coming back 36, 37. I don't know if, like, I think what I can say for sure, even though it hurts, is the Dame we knew, I don't think he's going to be the one coming back. I still think he can be a valuable player. I think the idea of Damian Lillard, the potential MVP type player, does not exist anymore, sadly. The Bucks did put up a good fight. 28, 15, and 6 for Giannis. KPJ really stepped up, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists for him, but what can you do, man? It's just a bit tough. The Pacers had 8 players with 12 plus points. The first time that's happened in the Pacers playoff history. This one was a bit of a wash, to be honest. So next, we'll go into the Knicks versus the Pistons. Karl Anthony Towns, man. Cat had such a good game. 27 points, 9 rebounds. Jalen Brunson, 32, 5, and 11. He went down with what was suspected to be a lower leg injury, but returned to the game, came back for the fourth quarter, 15 points in that fourth quarter alone, ended with 32 of the night. Cat with a huge 3 to bring the Knicks up 1. And the most contentious point in this game is, was it a foul? Josh Hart definitely catches Tim Hardaway Jr. on the corner 3 attempt. And the refs on the court didn't call it. It was a no call. Nothing happened there. That was legal contact. They went back in the post-game review for the referees. They said it should have been a foul, but I don't think that does anything to anyone. I don't think anyone really cares at this point. Like, if you were saying it to Pistons fans, I feel like that's just salt in the wound. Who cares? You didn't call it then. It doesn't matter if you call it now. So it's a tough one. The Knicks now go into their home court 3-1 up. I think it's wraps for the Pistons, and I think they put up a good fight. I don't think any of these matches so far have been like crazy blowouts. It's always been within reach for the Pistons, and this should have been a game the Pistons won. They do take a lot of time to get into offensive sets, so it just feels like they run the clock out, and then we got to figure out something. But I do like the future for the Pistons. I feel like it's not the year. Overall, you had a great year, and we can't discount that. That's a bit unfortunate for them. Let's get on to the main event here. The Minnesota Timberwolves took on the Los Angeles Lakers and won. The series is now 3-1, and it's a lot thanks to the heroics of Anthony Edwards. 44 minutes, 43 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover, 70% true shooting. Wolves are now going back to LA with a 3-1 lead, and Ant is very much the Grim Reaper of these old stars. He hasn't faltered at any point, no matter what the looks that JJ Redick has thrown at him, no matter who they've said, okay, cool, we can stop him if we do this. No, you cannot. Anthony Edwards is different, man. If you didn't know last year, now you definitely know. Anthony Edwards is like, you guys know that meme of the Grim Reaper knocking at everyone's door? That's him. He came for KD last year. He's coming for Bron this year. What is this guy on? I want to take a second to talk about Naz Reid as well. Like, offensively and defensively, he has been fantastic. According to the broadcast, and I don't know if it's still the case, he has not missed in any of these fourth quarters. He has made every shot he has tried to make in the fourth quarter of these games so far. And that's kind of insane. And, like, it's not like if Rudy Gobert did it and Rudy Gobert takes, like, 2 shots a game in this series. No, he is shooting with volume. Naz Reid is taking shots and making shots. So good on him. Defensively, he has been great as well, being able to hold his own in like the double teams that they've had to throw at Luka and at LeBron. In the last play of the game, he's part of the double on Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic finds a way to pass it to Bron. He's straight on Bron. Bron finds a way to pass it to Austin Reeves. He is there on Austin Reeves. Defensively, this team is so good. And I don't know how they did it. I don't know what Chris Finch did. But he's convinced Julius Randle to play good defense. And it's like a lot of the times Julius Randle will take a lot of boneheaded shots. That's just who Julius Randle is, right? But you're getting such important moments from him on the defensive side. It's like, you know what? Hey, buddy, you earned that. So go take that shot. As long as you can make up for us on the defensive end, because he is stopping Luka Doncic. And look, Luka is not quick. He's shifty. Yes, cool. Like he has moves. He has a bag. He has a dribble. But size-wise, Julius Randle matches up pretty well. Luka Doncic is not speeding past Julius Randle. Luka's also been a target for the Wolves as well. They have gone at him on defense a lot because, hey, he can't stop him. Luka Doncic has all the tools to be an offensive maestro, but he cannot stop them defensively, especially when you ask him to do what he's doing on the offensive end. There's a couple key moments here that I think the Lakers really faltered in. The refereeing has not been great for a lot of these calls in this series, and I think a lot of the playoffs in general. We'll get to the big one. There is another one where I think it's a Julius Randle kickball. And I was watching the live broadcast, and even like Richard Jefferson on the desk is like, yeah, no, that is a kickball violation. The ball changed course. Like the pass is straight. The pass did not angle in any way. And they missed that call. I think it was like Austin Reeves to LeBron James, or maybe the other way around, one of the two. That was a pretty egregious non-call. The foul to end the game, pretty much, where Anthony Edwards iced the game with 2 free throws. I don't think it was a foul. They pulled in a new angle that I've never seen before. They pulled in that AC 130 view just to call this on LeBron. I am of the belief that hand is part of the ball. When you hit someone's hand, especially when someone's hand is on the ball, that's not foul. I do not agree with the call. It doesn't matter if I agree. You know, it doesn't even matter if the players agree. Chris Finch gets the challenge because it was ruled out of bounds off of Anthony Edwards. Turns out, not the case. He got fouled. I don't think so, but that's what happened. And on that note, I think Ant in this game has been able to get downhill. Ant is like primarily known as a slasher, as a guy who can get to the rim at will. And he did it, man. He got he took 17 free throw attempts. And if you can get Anthony Edwards to the line more than like 10, 15 times, nah, you got the game in hand. This guy will make those free throws and he will punish you. I think a lot of the Lakers players did have good games. You know, like the big problem is Luka Doncic cannot find a way to get his teammates involved. I think this is another game where he has like less than 3 assists. And this is not good. The Timberwolves are very much focusing on the fact that Luka Doncic has to score. Luka Doncic has to beat them. Because they're restricting his options. He gets doubled off the catch. He gets full court pressure for a lot of these games. And a lot of these times, it's like, where's the screen to release the pressure? Like, he's just getting hounded on defense. And it's like, there's no mid-court screen. JJ Redick is screaming at the team, being like, guys, you need to fucking do this. The Lakers do have a personnel issue. I think that without having a big man who can be a rim runner for Luka, it makes it very hard for him to get people involved. That is a core part of how Luka can open up the floor for other players, including himself. Like here, he's just like, okay, cool, I got shooters. Let me kick out to my shooters. But it's like, you can't make every three. It's not feasible like that. Rui had a great night. Rui had like 20 plus points. Austin Reeves, however, did not. But Rui had a big bounce back game. I feel like that's the thing is players like Austin Reeves can't get themselves going in these games. Especially when Luka's getting like stopped in the way he is. Yeah, he's scoring, fine, you know. But what happens when someone scores all the time is a lot of your teammates get iced out of actions. Like what is Austin Reeves really gonna do here? And that leads into another point of, god damn, the minute distribution in this game was kind of crazy. I don't know if JJ just doesn't trust some of the guys on his bench, but he ran that starting unit the whole of the second half. Like the whole thing, did not give them a break. And I understand leaving like Luka Doncic in there because, you know, you're young, you got cardio. I know you got traded because they thought you were fat, but like you can do 20 minutes of a basketball game. That's fine. It's the other players. I think LeBron definitely needed a break. Like LeBron played the whole second half And that's a 40-year-old man. You can't rely on LeBron James to bail you out like that. Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't expect Dorian Finney-Smith to ever have to do that again. I don't want him to. I think players like those really need the breaks. Austin Reeves needed a break to like get his head straight. Like, he had a lot of boneheaded moves during this whole game. Rui, as great as Rui was and how much I sang his praises, Rui also needs a break. And it's like, yeah, you can ask them like, hey, look, let me know if you need a timeout. Let me know if you do this. We have 2 extra timeouts remaining in this half. But that shouldn't be on the players, because like, I think anyone who's been out there to play basketball, who's played the game at any level, you know, you don't want to stop. If you're feeling it, or if you're in the moment, you don't want to stop. You want to stay out there. Coach got to kill me before he takes me out of this game. JJ needed to just straight up be like, look, we're taking you out for 2 minutes. Here, take some rest. Steph Curry gets it all the time from Steve Kerr. In the Olympics, in the finals against France, Steph was taken out for defensive play so he could get his rest on the offensive end. You don't need Steph for defense, but you do need him to get on the other side and score the damn ball. I think it's so asinine that like JJ thought, you know what? You tell me when you're... No, you got to call the timeouts. You got to get these guys a little bit of rest. You got to get their heads straight. Maybe you don't have anyone on the bench that you can play. Fair enough, but you need something. I want to also highlight Jaden McDaniels, because yeah, they have LeBron, they have Luka, as Anthony Edwards said.
But we got Jaden McDaniels.
And honestly, man, he's so important for this team on both ends as like one of their primary Luka stoppers, someone who can like even be a threat offensively. This Minnesota Timberwolves team is so deep. They're so good, man. The Lakers had a 10-point lead going into the fourth of this one. And in that fourth quarter, it felt like everything was just going in for Minnesota. The Minnesota won the quarter 32-19. I don't want to say that this series is over, but I think it might be. Look, we know LeBron to be that guy to come back from 3-1 down. Yeah, 100%. I know who LeBron James is, but that was 10 years ago. And I know that's a scary thought to wrestle with because it's terrifying for me, but that was 10 years ago. This version of LeBron is not the same version of LeBron. This Lakers team is not as talented as that Cavs team. Yeah, you got a better sidekick or better second best player. You know, in fact, LeBron is the second best player of this team, but they just don't have the depth. They don't have the pieces. This is an unfortunate end to the season for the Lakers, but it does give room for them to say, okay, cool. Let's start getting the pieces to build around Luka Doncic properly. Let's figure out the best way for Luka Doncic to play on this team, because JJ Redick has done a great job, first year head coach, dealing with everything. And like the expectations of being on the Lakers, I will say, other than being bounced in the first round, he's kind of delivered. But yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good one. Hope you take good care of yourself. Another day of playoff basketball is among us. The Cavs versus the Heat. Maybe they can put old dog out to pasture. You know, it's the Warriors versus the Rockets. Are we in for another Stephen Curry performance? Is Jalen Green ready to show us who he is? I don't know. But what I do know is we'll be back here, I don't know, tomorrow. Maybe Tuesday. We'll see. If the games are important, we'll be back here tomorrow. If not, I'll see you on Tuesday to recap again. I hope you have a good one. Hope you stay safe. Enjoy your day. If you like the video, go ahead and leave it a like. I always appreciate it. If you like it that little teeny tiny bit more, a subscription always goes a long way. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.